MYD Start-Up is brought to you by Nedbank. Make things happen.
Now, when you bump into him in the streets, well, not the streets, not the proverbial streets that we find Mo in, but the real ones of Windhoek that are real and that are poppin' and cool. You might know him as Okin, 1/3 of Black Vulcanite, or, poet extraordinaire. But today I have him in his capacity. Listen to this, my darling. He is as Nikolai. Mugai as Nikolai. He's an MBA graduate. He is a creative entrepreneur and he's a podcast hope. Hashtag from the jump. And we have him in studio because he's doing big things, big Tims. Bro, welcome to the show.
Blessings. Thanks for having me.
No. I'm excited. I'm hella excited. If you wanted me an article, I read the article. This was me the entire time. Okay. Wait, what? Wait, okay.
It's a lot of information.
Okay. Yeah, it was, but it was beautifully so. And there's a line that you used in the article where we're at that point because we talked about the business of creatives in MYD Start-Up this week, where you were saying what you're doing is basically taking us off the begging mentality of corporates going here, please, master.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
But before we get to all of that, let's jump into the podcast first and foremost. For those that aren't familiar, living under a rock, they went to Mars, now they're back. We don't know. Tell us about the hashtag from the jump.
Yeah. So I started from the jump. Basically, when we did our first lockdown, when we all went into the first lockdown for the pandemic, and I was like, look, I know so many creatives that I've met or been blessed enough to meet along my journey of life. All around the world. So how about I have the conversations we normally have with them, but record it.
Yeah.
And, just let people see the conversations that creatives have when nobody's around, when there's no camera, and also just get information and learn a bit more about how these people got to the positions that they are in.
Yeah, and the first season, I thoroughly enjoyed. I really loved when you had Tanya, because that's like another realm that you don't even think about in terms of, like the BTS, like behind the scenes, and those are the people the stories that you're drawing from. Like, oh, that's what you guys do, Kanje.
Exactly.
and this is what really goes into this. And which platform is your podcast on?
So initially, what I wanted to do was I wanted to move it to people that like not YouTube and stuff, because that's where everybody normally goes. So I kind of wanted to bring it to people that weren't YouTube aficionados, but they're on Instagram all the time. I'm like, well, IGTV.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's find out exactly how we upload it to IGTV, how all these things work. They only give you an hour. So each episode that's up there, the maximum I can put up is an hour. So the ones that are longer, I of course have them on the streaming sites. And that's how we try to expand on the conversations and such.
And I also saw, I don't know if it was earlier this year or last year, when you were so open and transparent with what you're doing. You shared with us the stats of season 1 thereof, and you're like, hey, look at Apple, boom, this is how you're doing. So how is it faring in totality?
Well, so we grew a lot. It was actually quite magical to see how the data, you see, for me, I'm a data person. I like research, I love research. So looking at the data and seeing where things are working, where they're not working, which countries are starting to pick up on which episodes, that for me was really the point. Because then you get to see, oh, this isn't working, I can then adjust, I can pivot this way.
Yes.
So with that data, we released our last episode for season 1, 30th of December last year. And we
really on the cusp.
I was like, yo, let's leave the year like this, right?
Yeah.
And then we still charted.
Yeah.
I haven't released anything until this Sunday, but from the jump, still being number 1 in Namibia, like many times over for the last 6 months.
Dude.
We've still been charting in South Africa.
Yeah.
The numbers are good. I can say that much.
From the analytics, what surprised you?
Oh, wow. The countries where people were listening. I was like, yo, who's listening to me in Uzbekistan? Like, fam, some of these places I was like, let me get a map and find out where this place is. Because what? How did you even hear about me? Like, thank you. Welcome to the show. Hey, buddy. And it's cool because like you get to see per episode even. You can see, oh, so this episode, this guy, 3 people from this country, another 10 from here. And you're like, how y'all even find out about me?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
That's beautiful. Which leads me to my next question. How are you growing your listenership? Anticipating now into season 2, how is that going about?
Well, I'm always trying new things.
Yes.
You know, for me, the thing is, if you've already achieved something one way, like I always say, there's a million ways to skin a cat. There's a million ways to do something differently, right? So you just pivot into another way of seeing, all right, let's see how. Initially, it was just through Instagram, Twitter, you know, the social medias, right? But then I started speaking to actual people inside the podcasting sphere, different podcasters in different countries, as well as people that own platforms, and then pushing it that way. And then what I wanted to do was, I was like, okay, but Namibians need to hear this more. Download Africa.
Hey, when now?
And that's why season 1's on download now.
Yeah.
Y'all can listen to it direct. You don't got to go to Apple, none of that. We use the Namibians for Namibians.
Listen, we're going to dive deeper into how you are using non-traditional platforms and streams and monetizing in a hot second. Let's MC Hammer this for a little bit.
Can't touch this.
Fab, he's putting me on off air. In terms of Donlu and what we can do internally as a country. So I'm thinking, you know what? I need to dig into Donlu a little bit more and hook you guys up. But let's pivot back to Nico. Tell us about the Lightning Network and the podcast index and how they factor in hashtag from the jump.
Okay, so what I did was I wanted to look at alternative means of monetization.
Yes.
Like, as we were saying, you know, this whole thing of begging corporates to be your sponsor and then never hearing back from them, or them trying to negotiate those terms to a way that you're not actually making anything, just wasn't for me. I mean, I tried it.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't for me. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what's the next big thing out here.
Yeah.
It's Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is the most disruptive technology we have today. I like to call it the realization of Gaddafi's dream, right? The whole, you need to buy this in order to buy something from me, and not just one currency, but a global currency. So what the Lightning Network does is it was built on top of the Bitcoin platform, right? Or layer, basically to make payments faster and cheaper.
Okay.
So instead of having to send a full Bitcoin, which is like 600,000 Namibian dollars now, you can send $300 worth of Bitcoin. You can buy $300 worth of Bitcoin right now from Bitcoin Namibia. Right?
Namibian dollars.
Yeah, 300 Namibian dollars. You can, because the thing is, Bitcoin, right, is look at it like this. 1 Namibian dollar is 100 cents.
Okay.
Right? But 1 Bitcoin is like 100, I think it's 100 million Satoshis. Right? So the way you break that up is I can send you 10 Satoshis. Like, let me put it to you like this. Somebody paid me, because I have QR codes on all of my posters, right? You scan that and you can send me Bitcoin instantaneously. So yesterday I put up a post telling people, did I tell you all these QR codes? But somebody sent me 10,000 sats, and they sent a message saying, who am I? Where am I? Nobody knows. This is the Lightning Network, right? 10,000 sats is $66. That's 66 Namibian dollars.
Oh, the currency. Okay.
That somebody paid me just because I put up the QR code and said, oh, you can do this. Here's another one. I went to sleep last night. I woke up this morning and I had 377 sats because somebody listened to my podcast. So this is what we're doing, right? By streaming my podcast, you pay me per minute.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So this is how it works. You go onto the platform. Let's say let's use Dunlo as an example. They're not Lightning and Bitcoin affiliated right now, but let's
we
say
understand.
Breeze is the one I'm using. But
yes.
Let's use Dunlo as an example.
Yes.
You go on, you click from the jump, you start listening. Every minute, you are literally streaming money to me. I'm being paid immediately into my Bitcoin wallet.
So as a user, who am I? Am I paying Donlu? And Donly pays you,
No.
or it's like straight to you?
So this is the beauty of the podcasting index, right? So the podcast index takes a small, like a minuscule percentage. They tell you how much they take.
Okay.
From the jump.
Yes.
You see what
I see
use
what
it?
you
Here we
did
go.
there.
So they take a minuscule amount, and
Yeah.
then depending on who you've signed up to stream through, they might take it a little bit as well, but they tell you as well. So everything's up front. You know exactly, and that's the whole point of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's not something hidden. There's no hidden costs, but it doesn't go to Dunlo and then me. It goes
straight.
directly as the payment is made. It shoots off the percentages and then it just comes through to me.
Okay.
There's no third party that pays me.
That is
This is the whole
involved.
point. There's no bank that needs to tell me, okay, it's going to take 3 days for these funds to clear and
Yes.
what. No. It's my money. It's here now.
It's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
So what the podcasting index does is, like with any other index, you submit your RSS feed of your show, which if you've loaded up a podcast, you know what your RSS feed is. It's the way that you share it. And then you submit it to them. That's it. You literally just fill in a form and submit. There's no payment you need to do. There's nothing. It took like, I think, a couple of days, and then I was on. Then automatically, you're on all of the podcasting 2.0 apps. So all the apps that are Lightning enabled, your podcast is there. You don't even have to do anything else.
And what are some of those Lightning enabled?
So, now we're going into mad technology.
Yeah.
So there's a Sphinx Chat, which is basically like a WhatsApp type client.
Okay.
But where people pay for each message that they send you.
They're paying.
Yeah.
Through their own Bitcoin.
Through their own Bitcoin. So when let's say we're in a group chat, the three of us, and Mo sends a message, but it's your group chat. You created this tribe, right? You decide how much everybody has to pay per message.
To contribute,
And to avoid spam, you put up, it's like a lock that you put on messages. If the owner of the tribe deletes the message, they take that lock money. If they don't delete it, you get your lock money back. So you can say 50 sats, 500 sats, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Now, think about it in the sense of OnlyFans. You can create your own OnlyFans without OnlyFans taking the money and then sending it to your bank and your bank deductive. No, all of this just comes straight to you right now. Immediately, not even in days, seconds.
Yeah.
You get paid. I can pay you right now.
Don't say that to me. I'll just give you my QR code, my RSS feed. Don't say that to me.
We can do it. But so yeah, it's all about just making sure that people are able to understand this technology isn't as difficult as it used to be.
Because I was about to say, you know, when I was reading the article and and not even reading the article, when you hear Bitcoin, I'm just going, my brain short circuits because you feel like it's really overwhelming. How do you even? But if it's simplified the way that you're simplifying it right now and removing a third party and it's cash money as a creative, we've got to jump on board.
Exactly. But see, I'll go one further for you. It's way more difficult to open a Facebook account than it is to create a Bitcoin wallet.
Don't even say
I'm not even lying to you. Like literally, all you have to do is you go, you say create wallet, you write down your seed phrase, you create a password. It's created, it's done.
So tell me, in terms of that now, in terms of signing up for Bitcoin, because a lot of people are saying, okay, it's Bitcoin, it's virtual, it's not real money. How does it translate then to real money?
It's not real money. That's the funniest thing I've heard. Because I know people in Namibia living off Bitcoin.
The facade or the notion is it's not real money. And it's not trustworthy, like the networks here. Can't be trusted. Who's here mining? Who don't even have miners?
We have mad miners.
You see, that's another wrong perception. So that's my final question as we wrap up here. How are you translating this into, like, I'm going to go e-wallet myself my $66 to get it out? How does that work?
Well, okay, so this is why we did the first episode of season 2 was with Chitheni Mvula Becoming Full, who is the man behind Bitcoin Namibia.
Listen to that.
Bitcoin Trade Namibia, you can buy through your bank account. You can buy Bitcoin straight through them. You can sell Bitcoin back to them, which they will then put your money in your account, e-wallet however you want it, or you can sell it to somebody else who wants your Bitcoin. So there's many ways that you can again, you know what I'm saying? If you want to make it back into money, normal money, you can. I wouldn't advise that because it keeps increasing. Like, it dips down. But people, they look at it in a monthly or weekly. If you look at Bitcoin over its lifetime, when it comes down, it's doing so on an upward trajectory. It's still going up while it's coming down. It's like, little dips, but just moving up. So that's what it is.
This is why there's part 2 to this interview, guys, because only now are we really. I'm like, I'm just trying to learn more and more and more and more. Promise you, Nico, I appreciate you coming, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.
Oh, I'm gonna give you guys all the rest.
All the gems, man. Put us on. Indeed. Yes, Mo? You look frazzled.
Yeah, no, I was like, I need to get this guy's number.
I'm here to give you all the information, man. Don't worry.
So and that's our MYD Startup for today. And part 2, I promise you, it's going to be just as sweet, just as juicy. And if we need like the dessert and a cherry on top, I'm going to drag him back here for a part 3. That's Nikolai. Check out hashtag from the jump. Season 1 is where?
So season 1 is currently up on IGTV. It's on Apple Podcasts. You could get it still on everywhere. Breeze, who I'm working with for the Lightning Network, and any Lightning podcasting 2.0 apps, you'll find me everywhere.
MYD Startup was brought to you by Nedbank. Make things happen.
99 FM inspires Windhoek on 99 FM. 99 FM, your inspiration station.